Shalom. I am taking this opportunity to make a video to teach you guys how to put things on the calendar. This has gotten a little bit overwhelming for me, and so I need everyone to start putting their events up themselves. And this will walk you through it. If you have any questions, I will be happy to sit down with you and do a Zoom call just like this, where we can share the screen and I can help you get through putting things on the calendar. Now, the first thing I want to do is let's go to the calendar and take a look here. Now, this is what the calendar looks like for me. And as you can see, on days, yep, here we go. On the 27th, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. We've got the Sabbath. We've got the martyrdom of Joseph Smith. We've got James Strang being ordained by an angel. And got to click there to see. We have two classes also going on. So I want you guys to be aware that this shows us the first three things that are happening. As we see here, we've got a couple different types of events. We have, it is the Sabbath, Shabbat, and there's a little blurb down here at the bottom, a nice picture. You can click on it for more information, but then we also have a class. Now you'll notice that these events, these are actual holidays or things that just happened on that date. And obviously these are all reoccurring. This is one type, and this is the type that I'll generally do, so I'm not going to go over how to do that with you. If you would like a event that's going to happen every year on here, let me know, a holiday of some sort, and I will put it on. This is what I'm going to be focusing on, are these class type events. So what I'm going to do to make this easy is I'm just going to show you how I've been doing the Strangite, dispensation, and beyond classes. So the first thing that I'll do is I will obviously go to the page. And I'm going to click on edit the event. And this way I get exactly what I need from where I need it. Now I'm going to open up a new page by going to events, add event. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click open in new tab. Now this is going to be super simple. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. Now notice that to click to get to the Zoom meeting, I made this heading 3. So if you're doing one from scratch, you want to make sure that you do that. And I'm going to show you how to format this by unformatting it. I'm going to copy all of this. I hit Control A and Control C. I'm going to go here and hit Control V and paste it. Now, to go through this, let's get rid of you. Let's make this regular. So what I do here is, first is a little blip of why you want to come. Join us for discussion on James Strang, prophet and king, successor to Joseph Smith Jr. That probably should say one of the, because we're a non-denominational movement, but this is fine. The next thing we have on here is the time. Eastern Standard Time is first, then Central, then Mountain, then Pacific. Now, I add, if you look up here in our toolbar, there's these two lines, there's a little hamburger here, 2 lines with dashes in between them. You click on that, and now when this shows up on the page, basically, if someone does a search, if you don't have this here, they'll get the whole thing, and they may not, these links don't always work if you don't do this correctly. So I always make sure to put this here so they don't get too much information, and I always put the links below it so that they're going to be okay information-wise. Now, in order to turn this into an actual link, you highlight the whole thing, and you click on this little link icon, and this box pops up, and you just paste your code. You paste your URL right here. So it'll look like this. And if you want them to leave, then you can click on open in a new tab, which is what I do here for this. And that way it takes them to Zoom in a new tab, and they still can look at the website if they need to, right? And then you hit save, and you're good to go. Now to make this bigger, where it says paragraph here, right under add media, Just make it heading 3 and you're gonna have a nice size. People won't be able to miss it. Now notice I make the time bold and I make meeting ID bold because these are the two things people are gonna need the most. They're gonna wanna know they need to click on this. They're gonna wanna know what time to get there. If they're familiar with how this program works and they're gonna go on their phone or something without clicking on this, they need the meeting ID. Below that, there's some different phone numbers for people who want to call in and a link so that people can find their local phone number. And again, you will notice we want to make sure that they are taken away from our website by going to a new tab so that our website stays open in another tab. As we scroll down, the next thing we want to look at is the date and the time. So you click on this, very simple. It goes through the first 3 months, the current and the next 2, and then you just keep clicking from there. You can go as long as you need to. We already have all these done to a certain point, so we're gonna go to the 18th because that's where we are on these. And this is gonna be at 7 p.m. And notice it changes that to the same, which is okay, because now you can easily get to 8 o'clock. And because this is all being done on Zoom, we don't need to show a map or type in a location. So you just exit out of both of those. Now, if you are the organizer and you're not listed, you can create a new organizer. You will just fill out this information down here. You want a name. Don't put in your phone number unless you want people calling you. You don't need a website because the fellowship website is our website, but your email address would be good. Please use your fellowship email address. First initial, last name at cjccf.org. Now for this one, Alexei is going to be the one running the class, so very easy. Make him the organizer. And this doesn't cost anything, and because it's a class, we go ahead and put in that it doesn't cost anything so people know. Now, if you want to charge for your class, you may do so. Make sure you put PayPal or some sort of information up here on how to pay in this box below this more section. Now, as we scroll down, you can see what it's going to look like on social media. Notice there's no picture yet, so let's scroll up here. And for this one, it's easy. I use the same picture. You just type in Strang here and, oops, not Strang, James. There we go. And I just take this picture and put it in. However, if you need a picture, then you need to use one that is a public domain image. Pixabay is a good one. There's also one called pixels.com. Both of these have what should be public domain images. It really doesn't matter which one you use. Just type in what you're looking for, and if you want something spiritual, and you get all these great images to choose from. Now, keep in mind though, I'm just going to show you real quick. If you pick an image, because you're doing this in the calendar, I've got it set up to show up at a certain specific size, and that size is smaller so that it doesn't overwhelm people's computers when they see the image. So when you go to do your download, make sure you use the smallest image, and then you can place that in here. So now scrolling back down, we see that there's a picture here, but there's still no information. So if you go back to our calendar and you hover over, this is the information that's going to pop up. Let me show you in one moment. But that's the information we want people to have. So if we edit the snippet here, we can just paste in this description. And this has what we need. Join us for discussion on James Strang. What time? This time. That's everything they have to have, and it's perfect for social media. They can click here if they want more, and you can see what it looks like on mobile and on a desktop. So anyone that's searching in Google, this is what they will see when they find it. And then we want to paste that same information here because that's where this pulls from. So you don't put this in here, and what's going to end up happening is you're going to have all this text show up instead, which this isn't that much text if it was just this, but the space will be here. And if you don't put the more up, all of this would show up, and it's a bit obnoxious. So you don't want to do that. And then finally, we want to make sure to click off the comments. Now, technically, I want to make sure that Alexei can edit this. So I'm going to go in here and I am going to make sure that he is the one that's the author. No one sees that but us. However, you guys don't all have admin access, and so you can't just go in and mess with these. If you're the one making this and you're the one doing the calendar, your name's going to be here. That's not a big deal. But if I'm the one doing it, I have to make sure your name is in here so that you can go in and edit it. Now, you'll notice over here, there's a place, when do I publish this? The reason why we want to publish this immediately is because immediately is when we want it to show up on the calendar. We have the correct date right here. If we change this date to July 18th, this won't show up until the day of the class. So we obviously don't want to do that. Now we can hit publish and wait for that little X to go away there. Click on upcoming events. And let's change this to July. And now we see that the 18th is the Sabbath. And we have this class. We click on the button and we have all that information that we need. Now that zoom button obviously isn't as huge as it is in the editing mode, but that's okay. It's still pretty big and pretty bold, and everything stands out very nicely. So that should be everything that you need to know to post. If you want to add things, so for example, let's say you want to add a file. Let's say you've got a big list of things you want people to look up, scripture references, what have you. Not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to enter here. We're going to click on this line right here, the horizontal line. And you can't see it on the screen. That's okay. And you can say resources. And then if you click on add media, you can upload files by clicking here. Now, I'm not going to upload anything. What I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to just put in this PDF right here. So if you would upload the file, this will all happen automatically. But basically, you would upload it, then it would ask you if you want to insert it, and the answer is yes. It would be sitting up here in this corner. And just click right here where it says insert into post. Now you'll notice that looks terrible. If you copy it like that and go to text, you'll see all this code, but all you really need is this. So you can change this to something else, everything between these brackets, and just say whatever you want. And now it says that, the file I want you to have. Very, very easy. And then we have our resources. And of course, resources, we want to make that bold. And this is just like a Word document. You click on the B and it becomes bold. You can also Control B. And if you're, as long as you're inside the word somewhere, that'll do that as well. I don't actually want any of this, so I'm going to get rid of it and not save it. Now, if you have any questions beyond this, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. I'll be very happy to help and get you what you need. Just a quick recap. We want to make sure that we've got a decent introduction of what it is that they'll be going to and why they want to come. This is not a lot of information. It is not individual or specific for each class. The person running each class should go in and update this however they feel best. We have to have the time on here or people don't know when to show up. We have to have the Zoom information. And if I'm the one setting it up on Zoom for you, that's not a problem. I can get that to you. For $15, I can link your account to ours. It's $15 a month through Zoom. And once we're linked, you can actually set up your own Zoom meetings. And then because we're linked, I can go in and get it myself. Without paying, you only get 30 minutes. And our classes seem to last about an hour. For $15 a month, I do recommend that you get your own Zoom access. You get your own Zoom Pro account. You can count that as tithing or donation or whatever you wish. But it is an excellent ministry tool. It's much safer to meet people on Zoom and chat with them there than it is to give everybody our cell phone numbers. And I want everyone to stay safe, and Zoom is an excellent way for us to stay safe. So use your fellowship email account, use Zoom, and stay safe. Put that in here. Make sure you've got the correct time and date. Make sure that these are unchecked because there is no location. Make sure you have the right organizer on here. And you can put multiple people. If there is a cost, make sure you add that cost, and make sure you update all this information and you get rid of the allow comments. And most importantly, make sure there's a really good picture, because people love pictures. And then you just save it. That's it. Well, thank you all. God bless. I hope this helps and we're able to move forward with the work of the Lord quickly and efficiently.